Are you aware that a victim of narcissistic and emotional abuse is scared to death to enter in or re-enter in to any kind of counseling? Very, very scary proposition. Hello, I'm Dr. David Hawkins, Director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute. The victim of emotional abuse and narcissistic abuse's greatest fear when it comes to entering into or back into any kind of counseling process. And it's simply this, and I hear it all the time. I hear it every day. And it comes in the form of a question of some kind. But the heartbeat of the question is this: can I trust you? Can I trust you with this incredibly precious and maybe unclear message, unclear story, because it's been confusing in my head. I've had brain fog. I'm exhausted. I'm not even sure how to talk about this, but can I trust you with this story? Or are you going to give me the standard line? It's a two-way street. And yeah, I'll listen to you, but I'm going to be fair about it all. All right, can I trust you with this story? I want to give you 5 things to think about. And this is now I'm really addressing the victim of narcissistic and emotional abuse. But of course, it pertains to helping professionals. But the victim of emotional and narcissistic abuse, I want you to take these 5 steps. Number 1, I want you to question the professional, pastor, therapist, whomever it might be. Find out if they are experienced when it comes to issues pertaining to narcissism and emotional abuse. They need to be very experienced, very, very, very experienced. So that would be one of the first questions you would ask. Do they know about narcissism and emotional abuse? Critical first step. Secondly, step number 2, test the waters. Share a little bit of information and see how that information is held. Do they validate your experience? Do they show compassion? Do they offer reassurance? Each step of the way, they should say, I get how scary this is for you. I've counseled a lot of women who have been abused, and I know this is an incredibly scary step. So you should do step number 3, and that is proceed very, very cautiously. Very cautiously. This is your story. This is so incredibly important. You've been traumatized. And in fact, that would be another thing to ask this clinician. Are they trauma informed? Do they know about trauma? Do they know about narcissism? Do they know about emotional abuse? You don't want to hear something like, well, I've counseled a lot of different people in my day. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to be very fair. What does that mean? I think I can help you. What does that mean? So you're going to proceed very cautiously. Step number 4, test, trust, test, trust, test, trust. I mean, it's what we all should do, but you need to do it even more. You take a step, you share a bit of your story, and you see how it resonates with this listener. Do they ask good questions? Do they show compassion? When you start to tell your story, do they do they show that they understand? They've heard this before. In a sense, they know what you're about to say. They have some familiarity with this whole topic. You need them to have familiarity with your story, even though they haven't heard yours, because they've heard hundreds and hundreds of other stories like yours. And so they know what you're experiencing, and they get it, and you feel gotten. You know that they get your story. And last, you listen for a critical point. And the critical point is, it's not a two-way street when it comes to narcissistic and emotional abuse. It's not a two-way. It's not even. You don't even have to. You don't have to hide from the notion that it's not perfectly fair. This isn't a mutual. This is not a case for mutual counseling. Are there cases that are mutual? There are. But when it comes to narcissistic and emotional abuse, no, it's not a two-way street. So again, the victim of emotional abuse and narcissistic abuse are frightened like no other about the possibility that they're going to be harmed. By the way, it's called secondary abuse or double abuse, when the person that you entrust with your story throws out some cockamamie notion like it's a two-way street and I'm going to be fair about it. Wait a minute. No, there's bad behavior and there's abusive behavior, and they are different. They are very different. With emotional abuse being a pattern of dominating and powering over another so that they are demeaned and demoralized in the process. And whoever you are speaking to better know the difference. All right. I hope this has been helpful to you. We at the Marriage Recovery Center get it. This is the water we swim in all the time. I work with women who have been emotionally abused and men who are emotionally abusive all the time. And so I and my colleagues get it. And you want to be working with somebody who gets it as well. If we can be of more help to you, click on the link to talk to our client care team. They'll tell you how to proceed. Click on the link to subscribe to our videos. We're putting them out all the time in an attempt to be helpful to you about understanding what your path forward might be. All right. Take care, and we look forward to hearing from you.